Alrighty, so probably a lot to talk about today. So I had the CommBank conference last week, which was really fun. Met a lot of cool people there. The interesting thing, there was a lot of exchanges there. Saw the big players in Australia, so like CoinJar, CoinStop, CoinTree, a lot of coin companies. But yeah, they weren't talking so much. I really wanted to find out about like the Lightning Network and if they were integrating anything. But they were mainly talking about compliance and like KYC and that sort of thing, but doing it in like a positive way. So like as if it's like a good thing. So it's a bit of a weird spin on that. But the rest of it was really cool. So there's a lot of like people from Monash and a lot of like EDU components to the whole event. And yeah, I announced the Satoshi website, so that was cool. Or Satoshi Mites, or whatever we're calling it, SatoshiMites.com. So there's nothing there yet, but we will have something. So that probably leads into the stuff that you sent through, Karen. I might just share my screen so we can have a look at it. So this was this on the TV last night? Can you guys see that okay? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so do you want to run us through this one, Karen?
Yeah, it started off saying something like how parents keeping an eye on keeping an eye on how their children are spending, and how children can also manage their money better themselves independently, and introduced this Pocket Pal, something new that's been developed. And as you go further in the slides, I can't remember the words now. I think it was sticky or spiggy.
It's a Spriggy from the looks of it.
Sorry, I'll just find it on my phone where I took the photo. I was taking the photo so quickly.
No, that was good. I think it's Spriggy.
Yes, Spriggy. And Mario Hasanakis has developed it, and it's for and he was talking about it's for marketing banking products to kids, so different ways that kids could use their phones or their digital things to help them understand money and what they're doing with their money.
Yeah, right. That's pretty interesting. Well, I mean, it's a step in the right direction. I think the so if she gets an A, she gets $100. Yeah.
It's an A, yeah.
That's pretty generous.
Yeah, interesting.
Wow.
And also if they're doing their chores, they're they're getting their pocket money, and they can sort of keep a record of that.
Yeah. That's interesting. Oh, okay, so they mentioned that the Dolomite program. Right, that's really interesting.
Yes, it mentions that had bad figures. Sorry, it had some bad feedback about it at some stage. But now they're looking at other ways of doing it, and they've launched its own program, a kids money app called KIT, KIT.
Just launched it. So there's two other ones. So the NAB launched theirs.
Spriggy now.
It's called KIT. All right. Okay. Interesting. Well, that's fascinating, because they're basically taking that Dolomite program and changing it into an app. So like digital currencies. It's a little bit scary. Like, I mean, they kind of going down the route of basically central bank digital currencies. Like the concept of, like, I was listening to a thing last week, basically in I think it's in Iran. Actually, there's a guy at the conference from Iran as well that was basically talking about implementing the Lightning Network potentially in Iran, and it's a good candidate because their money's basically been debased to nothing.
So much,
and
yeah.
And they're like utilizing US dollars at the moment as like their main thing. So like the government there are looking at doing a central bank digital currency, and the creepy thing is, like, they're linking it to like some sort of social credit score. So like I don't know the ins and outs of it completely, but basically the concept is if you're meet the right social criteria, you can spend this money on specific items, and it's like issued by the government, sort of thing. So the concept of that is quite scary, I think, because it means like they could basically, and this is like a proposed thing for the US actually, like having programmed in a like a time limit on when you can, like an expiry date on issuance of tokens. So like the say for not saying that Spriggy's doing this, but say for example, um, something like that. You have basically a card linked to it, a CDBC, or even just on your phone, and you have a month to spend that. Otherwise, it's expired, sort of thing. So it's kind of the inverse of what we want to do with like something like Satoshi Might. But it's interesting to see that they're in the right track. Matt, I know you're doing something similar with your kids. Is that kind of like what you're doing? I know there was some program you were using in New Zealand.
Yeah, this is the Australian rip of the New Zealand software that I've been using for a while. No, for reals, it is.
Yeah.
And so there's some innovative developers here in NZ have made a program called Square One, and it's a way for kids to earn money, save for things, spend money, and it uses their phones. They also provide you with a card so the kids can use it in store and to shop online. And the reason I came across this was because we're Australian and English citizens and not New Zealand citizens, and my kids don't have NZ passports or whatever. I couldn't actually get them just normal bank accounts here, and so not that I really wanted to anyway. But my kids are getting to an age now where they need to spend money and have a bit of autonomy. So I was looking for ways to do that, and came across this, and I was actually really skeptical when I first looked at it. I was like, how does this work, and how creepy is this? And to be honest, it's actually really good. And I looked at the terms and conditions. The money, the way it works is parents top up their account. That goes into a bank account that Square One doesn't use for trading or profit at all. It's just a storage location. I'm pretty sure that their business model is eventually, because it's just the test pilots at the moment, it's all for free. But I think within a year, they'll start charging for the cards. So per card that you've got for your kid, they'll charge you an annual fee for the use of that. So that's their profit sort of system. But what I found is, like my kids, I've got 3 kids, and they do chores. They've got chores that they can do every day. And I've been saying I've been giving them pocket money, but I've had to do it in cash, which is a real pain in the ass. And so I was like, I just really wish there was an easy way to do this. And so basically, if they do a chore that has a certain value attached to it, like unload the dishwasher equals $1, right? They tick it. It goes to my app. It says, she's done this chore. I go approve. It goes into their account, and they can save. And so my youngest, who's 7, he actually immediately saved for a smartwatch and like did it within like 3 weeks. And I'd never seen him behave like that before.
Wow.
So in terms of financial literacy, apps like this can be really, really good.
Yeah.
But they are still built on the legacy old system, right? And so when you were telling me, Kieran, about doing this using the new system, it would be so good if there was something that was this easy. Because I think this is the thing with all these apps is simplicity and ease of use.
Yes.
Yep.
And so this was the first one I'd found. I've tried things like this before. This is the first thing I found that actually worked and was really easy, really transparent, and gave the kids authentic motivation to save. So it's teaching them the value of actually putting in effort and working, the value of saving, and then having some kind of self-reflection on how they spend their money, all the things that they don't teach you in school, right? So yeah, I thought that was actually kind of cool. And I was kind of stoked that it was a little Kiwi startup that did it as well.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. It's very cool.
It's interesting that you say he saved for a watch, right? So it's that's awesome. Do you reckon these apps sort of teach you to be a consumer to a certain degree? So it's like instead of saving, like and having the concept of saving for, the future, it's saving towards an item. Like even on the website, it looks like these are all the things I spend my money on, as opposed to this is how much I've saved over time for my future, sort of thing. Does that make sense?
Actually, yeah, that was the question I had too. That was actually my initial thought when I saw it. And it's actually got 3 pillars. and one is earn, one is save, and one is spend, right?
Yep.
And so it equally balances all those. I don't think it's just another consumerist tool. It doesn't have any advertising for any products. And it actually equally balances it. I think it actually does a good job in showing that when you earn money, you've got choices with what you do with it, which is you can save or you can spend. And actually with this topic, the number one thing my kids will spend money on is rubbish at the dairy, as they call it here, or the corner store, right? If they could, they'd spend all their money at the dairy, right? So thank God these cards, they don't work in that way. So because the dairy doesn't do touch, you have to actually plug your card in and have a real sort of proper account to do it. So they don't work at the dairy, which is awesome. It was half the reason I got this system, is because they couldn't waste their money just on rubbish.
Is that like a 7-Eleven sort of convenience
yeah,
store?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
that's right. Yeah. Like the corner shop, right?
Gotcha.
So it was it's interesting watching how because I've got 3 kids, and watching how each of them use it. Okay. And so Jem, my youngest, he was quite savvy. And so he saved for something that was long-term. And that's for a 7-year-old. That's a pretty big
huge
deal.
Yeah,
right?
that's amazing.
My eldest, she just immediately, every time she would go down the store, would use it to just have lunch with her friends. And my middle child has just saved everything and hasn't spent a single dime, and is literally like minted right now. And so I think that it supports all different approaches to money, and I don't think it's just a capitalist tool.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Is there any mechanism for them to learn about inflation as part of that, do you reckon?
I think so. No,
just seeing that their money buys less I suppose over time. I guess you kind of learn it like the hard way.
Like you have to save for longer.
Yeah. That's really cool though. That's awesome.
The actual payments are what they can spend their money in. That's one of the resistance that I get from my daughter and my girlfriend's daughter, is they refuse to take payments in Bitcoin.
Yep.
Because they have this perception they can't spend it. And I go, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
But so we have a savings plan and we have their cash plan, which they can go spend, but they've got their savings plan in Bitcoin. But still, it's not their buy-in, it's my pushing it.
Yeah, it's
so how do we get it so that there is a card like these cards and these systems, like these kids cards, are they going to have Bitcoin payments on there? Probably not.
Yeah.
Or conversions from Bitcoin into cash, or
Bitrefill. That's the answer, I think. Bitrefill is probably like the best app for that. So it's basically you can buy everything with it basically. But you load up, it's got the Lightning wallet and embedded into it, and you can basically, I'll bring it up. Share screen.
What's so positive is that Dolomites, and it used to be terrific, when it was first brought in. It was a way for children to have some sort of idea of what was happening. But the positive, that recognising that now there has to be different ways for children to learn about managing finances and things like that, and that so many apps are coming to the fore is moving forward.
Yeah, that's right. This one's pretty cool. So you can basically go every country, and it's got like all the different vouchers you can buy. So like you can just go in Amazon, whatever, type in how much you want, pay in sats, and then you get the scratch off, and you can buy whatever you want. So show them that, Gordon. I reckon that's probably a way in. I found the same thing actually, like at Warana, when we were running like the like a whole bunch of different programs, like the esports program, we spun up our own token, a lot of stuff, even in Satoshis and Dogecoin and everything. And that was the question all the kids asked: where can I spend this? And yeah, it's kind of tough, isn't it? So like, I mean, these guys with Bitrefill have built something pretty awesome that you can do that with, but it's definitely the wrong mentality, and it's a reflection probably of all of us in society, just spending and consuming like nonsense that we probably don't need. And the kids gonna see that and they're like, yeah, we should replicate that. So it's probably kind of on us as well, I suppose. Well, that was really helpful to go through that. Thanks for that, Karen and Matt.
yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, the other thing I wanted to go through today was with the Stacks community. So they've got a video for a Twitter space. So I sent the link through to everybody. And basically they want to do a pre-recording. So I thought we could probably do that as a team this morning and tell them kind of where we're at and what we're doing and the upcoming event, of which I don't have a space for yet. So we might be doing that all online, except for you guys in a lecture in Gordon. You got your space, but I think the rest of us might be online, but that's all right for the time being. But yeah, did you go? Should we go through that as a group? There's basically 5 questions they have, and we just do an intro for whoever wants to intro themselves and talk about what we're doing.
There's just one thing, Kieran. In 10, I've got to bail. I only had half an hour today, bro. So if I drop off at midday, that's 10 o'clock your time.
Yeah,
That's
no
where I'm
problems.
going.
That's all good. I think Jill's got to go as well. All right, well, we'll do. Well, we'll just do it now, and I'll split the recording and send them this. Alrighty. So, just bring up the first one, and I'll bring up the Stacks website actually. Stacks Australia. We should buy the domain, really, shouldn't we? Shouldn't it? Can you see that all right? Yeah,
Yep.
sweet. Hang on, I'll bring this up on screen. Whoop. Still good?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Alrighty. So Stacks Australia. We've been working on building a community here for, God, how long's it been, guys? Probably a few months now. And basically what ours is probably a little bit different to the rest of the Stacks community sort of around the world, whereas we've got a big focus on education. So basically what we're building out at the School of Bitcoin, so you can check that out, schoolofbitcoin.com. If you want to see sort of what we're building out there in terms of curriculum. On the back of that, we're building a Stacks Australia community. So we've got our roadmap, Discord you can jump into. Our domain for the moment is still the GitHub. So someone else has bought stacksaustralia.com. So we might have to have a different name for that. But yeah, it's been pretty cool putting up resources and everything. We might do just a bit of an intro before we lose people, because I know everyone's got different meetings and stuff today. So Jill, did you want to kick off and give a bit of an intro to yourself?
First off the block, so I come with an education and curriculum writing background. That's I suppose what my experience and also my my degrees are in, and therefore I sort of jumped in when I heard Kieran speaking about this, the literacy component and the educational component of how we could support and engage and empower people to jump on board the new, I suppose, way of looking at money and the new way of looking at our future connections with currencies, but also Web3 and blockchain. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome, thanks, Jill. And Matt's coming from New Zealand, so Stacks Australia is kind of like bled over into New Zealand as well. But do you want to give a quick intro, because I know you got to run as well?
Sure. Hi, I'm Matt Richards. I run an educational consultancy called Village Robot, and I've been really big on empowering kids and learner agency for a long time. And I'm a huge fan of building a new system to bring about preferred futures. And I've been a long-term partner in crime of Kieran as well. So yeah, I'm here to see if I can assist with the mission in any way. Awesome.
Thanks, Matt. Jacques, did you want to give a bit of an intro? I know you're not in Australia, you're in Chicago as well. So we're a weird cohort. We're kind of from all over the place, but it is still Stacks Australia.
Yeah, sure. My name is Jacques, coming from Chicago. I was really drawn in from like the educational aspect with the School of Bitcoin, and also with Stacks Australia, still having an educational background to it. Personally, I'm really interested in helping understand and build DAO ecosystems. So with this, I've just been looking into the NFT aspects that we can use with Stacks, getting people engaged in that way, and then just also just exploring how we can build community. So I'm just excited to help however I can.
Awesome. Thanks heaps. Electra and Gordon.
Hi, we're Electra and Gordon at Digital Playhouse in Queensland, a regional blockchain innovation digital technology learning hub. And yeah, look, I have an accounting background, and Gordon's been a blockchain educator for quite a while, and we're we're quite motivated to assist with education and onboarding into the blockchain space.
Yeah, it's Kieran, I guess like Matt, I was drawn in and inspired by yourself to get something going in our local community. And that all circles around digital and financial literacy. So we think that regions are at a disadvantage. So we want to do projects and run programs that are going to improve opportunities for our local community. But we'd also like to spread that into other regional communities. So yeah, good to be here.
Where there's not a lot of awareness, and we can make a difference.
100%.
But I think Stacks was important to us in that we're big believers in the Bitcoin network, and exploring we see a lot of these other networks out there as test nets. It's also new. It's a great place to experiment, and we hope to be able to teach people to do it as safely as they can. So what they create, they actually own, and how to store that and experiment. We're doing lots of research around DAO. So love to talk to Jarks a bit further about that, but yeah, a lot of exciting stuff.
Yeah, lots happening. And Karen, if you could, we can't see you, but that's all right. If you give a bit of an intro.
I've got electricians in my home at the moment, so I'm sort of moving around as I'm talking, and it's great they're helping me out with some problems here. And I think that's what Stacks Australia is doing, or will do more of, as it grows and develops. I'm an educator, experienced working with children, learners from preschool to postgraduate level, and also very focused on children's rights. And I think for children of all different backgrounds and experiences to understand more about the way the world is changing and the importance of digital and financial literacy is another way of empowering them and living their lives with equal rights and more equity and equality if they understand what's going on, and it's respected that what they don't have and what they don't know is not because they can't, given opportunities. And I believe through this, more opportunities will be available to more people. I'll stop there.
Very cool. Thanks, Karen. Thanks heaps. Yeah, the big thing coming from last week. So I had a big conference in the city here, Bitcoin conference put on by one of the big banks, and as part of my presentation, I was talking about Stacks specifically, and what resonated with a lot of the education community there was utilizing the NFTs. So your idea, Jacques, for certifications. So doing certs for our curriculum, using the NFT for that, and then that giving the learners access to the network. And the fact we're building the NFTs on the BTC blockchain, and the fact it's not just a picture of a monkey or something, it's something usable and something that can actually integrate with what we're building, resonated with a lot of people. So I expect to see a lot of feedback from that. The really cool thing, and I won't go too long because we're probably out of time already for this. But the really cool thing that came out of that was a guy came up to me with his son at the end of the conference, and he was like a traditional finance guy, recognized his son was interested in this sort of tech, so he paid for a ticket, like $300 ticket, for him and his son to come along, and came up and had a chat with me at the end. And so was really excited, and 17, 18, just finished school, and this is what he wants to do. So it was kind of all worth it for that. He's going to jump in our Discord, and yeah, so we've got a learner that's really interested in that. And just to finish off with Stacks, basically, first event that we're doing. So I'm really excited. We're doing what we're calling a tribrid model, and it's basically in person, in a physical location, over Zoom, and in virtual reality, sort of all at once. And we're doing it across Australia, and even extending to Chicago as well. So it should be pretty exciting. But basically that's coming up on the, have I put it on here yet? Oh no, that's the wrong date. I'll update that. We're doing it on the 2nd of June. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. But yeah, quite exciting stuff. All right, and I'll cut there. That was great. Thanks heaps, guys. Was there anything else you wanted to catch up on? And we've lost Jill. That's all right. We can't hear you, Gordon, if you're talking.
Did we want to introduce Digital Playhouse Foundation?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'll give you the it's on our website. So Kieran has become a director on our board of, we're a registered charity. I'll just give you the, and this is, we'll be hosting the project for the Stacks Australia and also for the School of Bitcoin. So that's the page.
I'm on the right page?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can.
Hey!
I found the happiest picture of you both.
That's awesome.
And there are contact details.
Yeah. So in order for the to have the best tax effective way of receiving stacks from the Stacks Foundation and then being able to distribute out to the community.
And also for governance and just having a good structure for running it through. Yeah.
Yeah. So with Kieran's now on the board of the Digital Playhouse and will accept the Stacks grant into the Digital Playhouse. And Kieran would be the person responsible for the management of that, the Stacks wallet. Yeah. And so with the team at the School of Bitcoin and the people in the community of the Stacks Australia, they'll be able to contribute and we'll come up, obviously we'll need to work on a system of, putting up proposals and
bounties.
How whether money's distributed through bounties or whether they're retained and in a stacking pool. Also looking at how to create a stacking pool to bring some, to be able to bring growth and some funding to the Stacks Australia community.
Super exciting. It's awesome. Oh, I got School of Bitcoin in here too. Cool. Oh, very cool. That's great.
So yeah, we're working on a bunch of different things there so that we can, being a charity and being able to receive funds there to go out into these projects. We can look at those options, but to assist both Stacks Australia and School of Bitcoin.
Very cool. This is awesome.
That's our space in Queensland. The photo.
That's cool. That's a great photo.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Donate. How do we donate?
I'm setting that up at the moment.
All right.
I'm working on it. I need help. If anyone wants to donate their skills and time to help me.
I can help you with that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay, I'll chat to you afterwards.
We'll we'll set something up for that. That's really cool.
Awesome. Yeah, one of our dev friends has recommended we look at using Stripe, and just so we can set up with the Bitcoin wallets and
I'm putting that up right now. Like after this call, you'll see that there'll be some addresses to donate in Bitcoin and Algo, and also by bank transfer. But we're wanting something that makes it a bit easier for people to donate to our projects and
Lightning
and long-term investment.
I reckon Lightning's the way to go for sure. There's an I'll find it. There's a really cool.
Well, you're a director, so come to a meeting and let's decide.
We'll figure it out. Yeah. No, it's really cool.
So I'll put up some things, some briefs on those for some ideas, and we can have some comments around those about how that management goes. I think that'd be a good way to start.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, that sounds really good. The last thing I just wanted to ask Jacques if you've had any time or progress with being able to do the authentication with the Haro wallet to a web page or anything, if you've had to play with that at all.
I haven't, but I just got back into the GitHub literally today. I'm excited to try and get back into this, but yeah, I'm going to be looking at just cleaning stuff up there and working through the Hiro integration. So
yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I've got the NFT minting application cloned over to the School of Bitcoin GitHub
cool.
Page.
Awesome.
So it's now a matter of us editing that. So I'll work on that this week. Try to have something to show you guys next week.
Awesome. That'd be really cool. Well, yeah, I was thinking as well with the curriculum just going through, I've done the 21 days of Bitcoin through what's the app called? Carrot's the app, and it's through Bitcoin Magazine. So basically what they're doing is you learn a little bit each day and it gets emailed to you. So on like day 14 or something. And at the end of it, you sit some sort of test. So I'll let you know what it's like, see if I pass or fail. And then you get paid sats for doing that. I'm like, that's really cool. So that's similar to what we're doing. So I reckon, and just the way the language they've used, it's really easy for anyone to pick up. So I reckon they're on the right track for that. It's kind of like what we want to do with the bit entry program. So I think once I've kind of gone through that, then we can mimic something like that for what we want to do. So it's pretty cool. And I think of the aspect of having the stacks integration and the NFT will be obviously different to just getting paid in sats, because it gives you sort of ownership over the whole thing. But yeah, I'll keep you updated on how that's going as well. So pretty exciting. But yeah, that was all from me, guys. Did anyone else have anything?
Yeah, I think there was maybe looking to have a session, Jarks, for you and Julius. You guys are like two of the main curriculum writers, or Karen as well. I think having a session really based around the curriculum, and also getting understanding out of the main contributors as to what some expectations are and the likes. Obviously, with the stacks grants coming in, is there to be bounties for founding curriculum writers, whatever it's like, really your ideas. Want to hear from you guys. Just having a chat with Jill when we're talking about structures and companies and shareholders and the likes when you weren't at that meeting, but opening up that conversation so we know what everyone's expectations are.
That's a good idea. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And maybe
if you've got anything you want to talk about, put it on the table, then we can start to shape some things,
For sure. And maybe even doing choice as well. So like, you can choose if you want to take a bounty in stacks tokens, or if you want to utilize them in the network or something like that. Like maybe even have, like, if we can get this stacking pool up and running, that would mean like people could have the option to, stack and then rewards, and then that contributes to the network, or they just get the tokens and do whatever they want or something like that. So we probably have to think that through, but I think the more options, the better is kind of the way to go.
Yeah.
It's
cool.
Sounds
good. So maybe next week or in the next couple of weeks, we can split off some time for that. That'd be good.
That'd be awesome. The other thing is competition that we had up as well. So the provocation, we should probably pick a winner, eh? Maybe I'll have a read through. Maybe we'll do it officially next week. So we'll go through, because I know we've got a fair few on there that have used the 30 characters to write something up. But let's have some time. We'll go through that before. I'll send through a bunch to everyone. We can have a read through and then pick one together next week.
Terrific.
That was really good. All right, awesome, guys. Well, I'll leave it there, and we'll catch up next week.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks very much. See you guys. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Good to see you all.
Bye.
You too.